Calendar 2020 very much put all of us within those off-sided jaws of adversity. That is, when this made its appearance and ushered in a 1 in 100 year event. An event that's clipped our wings, locked us down, locked us out, masked us up, and much worse for some. But it's been a more nuanced narrative for organisations and their businesses. A great many have been adversely impacted. Some have navigated around the carnage relatively unscathed, while others have gained, some significantly so. Despite these very different impacts, all businesses right now share a common opportunity, because this 100-year event has unsettled those tectonic plates of incumbent advantage, which means the way things have been won't necessarily be the way they will be going forward. Market and industry moves that may not have succeeded before might very well do so now. Wresting real opportunity from those jaws of adversity is very much in prospect, which can I suggest is our 1 in 100 year opportunity, or maybe more aptly, our once in our lifetime opportunity, which will be to rebuild very much better for those adversely impacted, or to take success to the next level for those that have skirted the carnage unscathed, and to lock in and build on gains for those who have prospered against the odds. These rewards aren't realisable now, however. We aren't yet on the other side. But now is the right time to craft and set out on the path to this opportunity. The minds of many are therefore turning to thinking through the question, if we had a clean canvas, what path would we craft to our best opportunity? These clean canvas exercises have been a big part of my work over the last 3 decades. They were all undertaken at watershed moments that organisations encountered in the course of their business. And while undertaken in circumstances unlike those we have today, the same underlying challenges were at play: to rebuild better, lift to the next level, and sustain and build further what's been achieved. Through this experience, I've learnt that these exercises succeed when they engage the 3 levels of strategic thinking together to full effect. When they do so, they bring very substantial rewards for business. The rub here is that these 3 levels, and really it's levels 2 and 3 in particular, don't engage of their own accord as a matter of course. Getting them to work is a special and formidable challenge all of its own. It's been my good fortune to work with talented leadership teams and boards on mastering this challenge. I've distilled some key learnings from this work on what these 3 levels of strategic thinking actually are in the first place, what they look like when they are working to their full effect, and what the principal hurdles are to get them to work this way. As we move to the other side of this 100-year pandemic event, to our once in our lifetime opportunity in business, I'd like to share these learnings with you. Kicking off with this introduction. In this introduction, we'll set the context for the sharing of these learnings. First, we'll put a name to each of the 3 levels of strategic thinking, with an indication of the relative size of rewards they promise. Second, we'll tease out what level 1 thinking actually is. As you will see, it's not a major contributor to a clean canvas exercise. Rather, it plays an indirect but still vital role, which we'll outline. So there won't be anything further to say about level 1 in the learnings to come. we'll be bidding it farewell in this introduction. It's levels 2 and 3 that bring the real creative pay dirt to a clean canvas. They are the source of the magic. The learnings I'll be sharing with you are all about levels 2 and 3, and there's a great many of them to share. I've organised them into 6 learning run-through videos, or LRVs for short. So third and last, in this introduction, we'll set out a map to these 6 LRVs. This map will also include a link to my professional profile to outline the experiences from which these learnings have been distilled. So let's begin by putting names to the 3 levels of strategic thinking and sizing their promise. At the outset, I said that clean canvas exercises succeed when they engage the 3 levels of strategic thinking to full effect. In turn, these 3 levels work to their full effect when they engage the keys within a business that are unique to the business and ignite the full potential of the business. Think advantage here, together with all those elements that animate it. We'll call them ignition keys from this point on. In this introduction, we'll use the proportion of them that are being engaged and how they ignite potential to put a name to each of the 3 levels. So beginning with level 1, it works just a small number of these ignition keys. That's because it's thinking that really talks to the application of best practices that are general in nature. That is, all businesses can employ them and all will derive some benefit from them, but leave the ignition keys of individual businesses largely unworked and therefore largely untapped. These general best practices are naturally and quite rightly prevalent across the landscape. There are a huge number of them to draw from, and pretty much all businesses will be deploying one or a number of them. So I've named level 1 prevailing practice. By contrast, level 2 works a great many of the ignition keys of a business, together with level 1, but mainly on its own shoulders. It's getting up towards 3/4 of those ignition keys. You might therefore consider level 2 the heavy lifter of the 3. It's where a great deal of the work of a clean canvas exercise happens. Getting this work done really takes a high level of functioning. It very much requires taking the thinking up a level to thinking I've named higher functioning. The remaining ignition keys, and it's usually just a few, are the domain of level 3. Their value comes into play when they can exploit vulnerabilities to disruption within markets and industries. Some markets and industries have these vulnerabilities, others don't. For the some that do, these remaining ignition keys make live the potential to disrupt to advantage the status quo of these markets and industries. Carrying this off requires taking the thinking up a level again, because it requires seeing what the industry isn't seeing. I've named this thinking Disruption Live. What then is the promise of each of these levels? The potential that they can ignite. For level 1, prevailing practice, the reward is material but relatively small. Doing what everyone else is doing will bring some reward, but nowhere near what a particular business can do alone by harnessing its own unique attributes and situation. The majority of the rewards of the clean canvas then flow from levels 2 and 3. As the heavy lifter, level 2 opens up over half of the rewards available. How much over half depends on whether the markets and industries that a business works in are vulnerable to disruption using the ignition keys that a business holds. If that vulnerability is there, the rewards for level 3 can be disproportionate, as much as half of the potential rewards available, which in turn caps level 2's share of the rewards to somewhat under a half, but still significant. If the vulnerability isn't there, however, there will be some reward from level 3, but most of the reward will flow from level 2. That's what these lighter purple bars are conveying. That part of the reward can go either way. With this spread of rewards, levels 2 and 3 are clearly the principal currency of the clean canvas. And as noted earlier, level 1 isn't a part of this currency. Level 1's role in clean canvas exercises is an indirect one and an important one. We'll set out this role next by teasing out the types of practices that level 1 includes, and ipso facto levels 2 and 3 don't, and then drawing the link between these practices to the clean canvas. So first, what are the types of best practices in level 1? Fundamentally, they fall into 5 categories: the talent the business employs, the process this talent uses to deliver outcomes the business seeks, the technology the talent utilises in this process, the resources the talent and process require, and the entity that orchestrates all of this. Together, these are foundational building blocks that all businesses share. A great many best practice methods have been accumulated over time for each of them. We don't need to go through all of them here. That's not our purpose. Rather, we just need to be synced on recognising their general nature. I'll do this by flagging a small sampling for each category, and I'll call out a particularly well-known example per category as we go, just to ensure we are synced on their nature. So for a sampling for talent, a good example is best incentive practice, as is agile in process, big data in technology, right sourcing in resources, and reporting in entity. They're all formulaic in nature, identified and championed by researchers, practitioners, educators, and leaders the world over, that all businesses can apply and will likely enjoy some reward from doing so. But a reward that's small relative to those of levels 2 and 3. That said, level 1 practices very much work to enhance the skill and experience within a business. They build acuity, and therein is the role level 1 plays for a clean canvas. It places the essential business acuity around the table that these exercises require. Now we bid level 1 farewell and turn to where the real pay dirt is for the clean canvas, levels 2 and 3. We'll draw that map now to the 6 LRVs for levels 2 and 3. At the heart of this map is the table of leadership and/or the board. It's the table at which clean canvas exercises are undertaken. Proficient level 1 thinking, as we've just noted, brings the essential business acuity to the table. Success then hinges on manifesting levels 2 and 3 to their full effect. The first 2 LRVs are for level 2, higher functioning. LRV 2A provides an indication of what level 2 looks like when it's working to its full effect at a granular level. LRV 2B then identifies the principal hurdles to jump to get it to work this way. The next 2 LRVs are for level 3, disruption live. The treatment is the same as for level 2. LRV3A, providing an indication of what level 3 looks like when it's working to its full effect, and LRV3B, identifying the principal hurdles to jump to get it to work this way. Right back at the start of this introduction, the point was made that all 3 levels need to engage together for clean canvas exercises to succeed. LRV-E addresses a not infrequent tendency to run with either of levels 2 or 3, but not both. It will set out what this looks like, together with the unhelpful consequences it gives rise to. Lastly, levels 2 and 3, strategic thinking, also have roles to play for many of the topical issues of leadership today, like diversity, digital, metrics, and governance. LRV-T provides some thought starters in this space. Lastly, if you would like to see my profile, clicking on the profile icon will take you directly through to it. If by chance you have trouble with any of the links in the map, you'll find the links repeated in the notes below this video. I trust you and your colleagues find these learnings helpful and thought-provoking. Again, please don't hesitate to reach out if I can be of assistance to your clean canvas journey. Now, come join me in LRV2A for level 2 higher functioning to see what this heavy lifter of the clean canvas looks like when it's in full flight. See you there. A quick footnote here, if I can. The final touches are being made to these LRVs right now, so the links to them on this map aren't in place yet. I'll post again shortly to let you know when the links are in place and these LRVs available.